the first, but you certainly found it, all right? 7 for 9 in the second half. I'm sure that felt good to just see some go down that you're used to seeing.
Yeah, that was probably my worst quarter in my life, so I just knew that was a must-win game. So I need to get better at that, so we got to win. That's all that matters.
Yeah, for sure. Look, you've been well aware for many years about LeBron James and the greatness. You also mentioned that you had a lot of respect for Austin Reaves playing against him, but what have you seen from him lately? The efficiency, the scoring, the playmaking from Austin?
Everything. I mean, he's doing everything on the court. He's helping the whole team, so just happy that he's here. He's been doing that since I got here, basically, so I'm happy for him.
Only 5 games left now as you hit the road. Tough back-to-back, or at least 2 games in a row at OKC and then Dallas. Where do you guys need to get to on this trip?
Yeah, it's going to be 3 tough games, very tough games. So we just got to play with the same energy we play against Houston, and we have a chance.
Last one for you, Luka. Is there any part of the game that you focus on the most as you close this stretch now, trying to get into playoff position?
Win all games that you can. That's it. Win the game. That's it.
Keep it simple. Appreciate it, Luka.
Yeah.
Luka, just a look ahead to the games you have coming up in OKC. Obviously, with your former team, you guys beat them in the postseason last year. How much of a challenge do you view them for this Lakers team, and what type of test will it be at this juncture of the season?
Definitely a big challenge. We all know how they play. They're first in the West for a reason. They've been playing amazing. They have a guy that is playing MVP level, so the whole team, it's good. So it's going to be a big challenge for us.
Look at the end of the first quarter when you checked out. You looked pretty upset with yourself. I'm sure after the last game you weren't playing to the level you wanted to play early. How were you able to get on track in the second quarter? What did you see that kind of got you into rhythm, and did you start to feel maybe more like yourself as the game went on?
Yeah, just trying to be like me, just play the game, forget about everything. So that's just what I kind of did.
Was it the shots, like the misses, that was like weighing on you, or was it something else that was kind of, you felt like keeping you from being yourself?
It was definitely, the misses, and then we were down 6, in a must-win game. So it was just kind of a little bit of both. But then we came back in the second quarter, played great defense, and everybody was together on that.
Luka, it was a tough 6-game series against OKC last year for you, and just wondered that the amount of pressure they put on the basketball. What is the key to deal with that? What are kind of some of the things that you try to do to counter it?
Yeah, just play through it. It was a very physical series. We were all very tired after that series. But it was fun. Definitely fun. OKC is a tough matchup. But those matchups are special. And, like I said before, it's going to be a big challenge for us. But also it's the games that it's fun to play.
I think you mentioned this in your answer to Dan, but you said feeling like yourself. I think since you've returned, we've asked you just how you felt about your own game. I guess, how have you felt over, I think it's been 22, 23 games you've had with this team, and what are the signs that you have of when you're feeling, I guess, to your full self again?
It's been great. We had some tough stretches, obviously. A lot of teams go through it. But, still adapting. It's all kind of like, I know it's been 2 months or something, but still adapting a little bit. It was a big change, but it's getting better.
Hey, Luka, with you being one of the leaders on this team, you have a guy like Dalton who, he may get a DNP one game and then come out and help you guys win. He's clearly a guy that can help. How do you kind of keep him motivated to stay after it, because you know that he can help you guys?
Yeah, it's a big time today, He didn't play 1 or 2 games, and just to come out is very tough, especially for rookie. And he stayed ready. It's a big respect for him, and everybody sees that. So you got to stay ready. We're going to need him for sure.
Luka, there was kind of a weird stat going around that up until tonight, you guys have been outscored when yourself, Austin, and LeBron have been on the court together. I guess I'm just curious kind of where you think you guys are together in terms of getting used to playing with one another. And it's been pretty good this last week, at least statistically. Are you feeling and seeing signs of more comfort when the three of you are out there together?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like we talk about, it's still a work in progress. We had to have many practices together, but I think we're getting more comfortable, like you saw today. So I think it's getting better.
Thanks, Luka.
Thank you.
Austin, you just did something that no one's ever done in Laker history. 15 threes in a 2-game span. What does it make you feel when you hear that?
It's special. LeBron throws me good passes, Luka throws me good passes, and I just shoot it. I just shoot them with confidence. That's really it, but it's special.
I mean, do you ever take a big picture view of things and say, hey, it's been a really good year for me?
Not really, to be honest. If we're not playing, I'm golfing, and the only thing I care about when I'm golfing is trying to, shoot a low score. So I'm sure after the year it'll all set in. But right now I'm just focused on trying to win, and I got a really good teammate named Jared Vanderbilt. He had a birthday yesterday, so I just wanted to say happy birthday to him. I love him. His family, they did a good job raising him.
You thought he was going to hit you with a towel a few seconds ago.
Yeah, we just got a love-hate relationship. I love him, and he just doesn't think too highly of me.
You guys haven't played OKC since November. Obviously, you're a different team. They've won a ton of games since then. How do you view this 2-game set coming up?
It's a great test. They're obviously a really good team with probably the front runners for the MVP right now. So a team that plays, really hard every possession, guards at a high level, and then on the other end they play with space. Like I said, Shea and does what he does. But it's a good test for us to, match up with the number one team in the West and see where we're at right now and continue to try to prove that we're a good team too.
Austin, anything in particular you feel like that's led to the rhythm that you have from the perimeter right now? Just not just the made threes, but the sort of how easily it seems to be coming out of your hand. Is there anything that's contributed to that?
I don't think so. Just shooting with confidence, and it's obviously good when you see your first couple go in. Last night, had my first 2 going tonight, and then tonight I made my second one, and after that, it's just language. We got kids watching, but it's just shooting with confidence.
Don't be humble. Don't be humble over there.
LeBron says, don't be humble.
Well,
Let me do that.
no. We see what you never mind. Yeah, LeBron's a good teammate.
Austin, there was a play in the fourth quarter where you kind of like scrambled for a loose ball. You had LeBron to your left, streaking good, Luka to the right. Just in terms of like having a as an offensive player, how good is that?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. Hell no. It's amazing. Two of the best players in the league, and then I chose to throw a low hook pass lob to a 40-year-old, and when I threw it, I didn't think it was a good idea, and then obviously continues to go get it. I told him on the bench I wish I played with him about 10 years ago, because I would have threw the craziest. I would have threw it every possession.
So it's to set him back 3 days.
Yeah.
Well, fuck. Everybody going to be mad at me.
Yeah.
Last 2. You?
Hey, Dalton, JJ just mentioned that he still has a lot of confidence that you can come in and help the team win games and and put you into spots. Tonight being an example, have you had that conversation directly, or is it just kind of when your name's called and go out there and do what you can do?
Mainly just when my name's called, just go out there and be ready to shoot. And my teammates have my back every single time I step on the court. They want me to be aggressive and play like I would do. So shout out to all my vets.
Yeah, first quarter tonight, Alvarado was going off. Team had fell behind a little bit, and you came in and kind of hit a couple of shots in succession. Where did you get that just immediate confidence and kind of stop the run and see if you can get the team on the right foot?
Whenever I step on the court, I think I'm gonna shoot great, and tonight, prime example.
Yeah, Dalton, kind of on that same subject. you made your first two in a row, and then you were ready to go for that third one right away. Like, how quickly do you feel like yourself getting hot and know, like, I'm in the zone already, even though I just got in the game?
Yeah, when the first one goes in, I had the putback, and then the three, and then, Braun was looking for me the whole entire time. So, Braun and Luka, AR, they make it real easy for you to get open shots and get yourself going.
Hey, Dalton, just, being a crowd favorite, right when you get off the bench, the crowd is going excited, you knock a couple down. Just what's that feeling like knowing that, hey, once I make these shots here, the crowd is roaring for me? How does that kind of motivate you for the rest of the game?
Yeah, it's real cool that I'm a fan favorite. So, every time I step on the court and hear them chant, I try to go put on a show for them. And I think that's what all of us try to go do is just go put on a show for the Lakers. They have a great fan base.
Hey Dalton, you got a nice inverted screen action with LeBron, and you were kind of spacing out for them as well. How do you feel your fit around kind of the big three with LeBron, Luka, and Austin in terms of how you fit with them offensively?
I think I fit good. Just I'm a shooter, and not only just that, I could go down and create my own shot and attack the rim and also play in the pick and roll with them. So I think I try to just help them as much as I can.
Dalton, you talked about just being ready when your name is called. Can you talk about just your process of staying ready? Have you been able to stay focused throughout the season and being ready when your name is called?
It's real simple. I got good vets like Keith to be there. He's been with a lot of rookies. He's been in kind of a similar situation, he told me. And just always making sure you're ready when your name's called and go out there and just be you.
JJ, what were your just kind of primary takeaways from tonight's game? Just clearly a result that you needed to get.
We came out a little flat defensively. Our offensive execution throughout the game was really good. We missed shots early, but we executed well. I thought we moved the ball well. I thought our organization was really good. And then, we went to the zone early in the second quarter, really just disrupted the rhythm for them. They hit an early three in the zone. We stuck with it. Our guys just continued to play it, and I thought that brought our level of communication up. And we were able to get some stops, kind of get back into the flow of the game a little bit with getting stops and then playing after a miss and not after a make. And then, DK just being a pro, second night of a back-to-back, gave us a huge lift in that first half. I thought Jackson defensively on the glass was big with 11 defensive rebounds. And obviously Luka, AR, and Braun. Just a lot of that three-man stuff was so good. We got great stuff out of a bunch of three-man actions with them.
What do you make out of Austin, not just these last two, but kind of late, and then specifically in these last two, 15 made threes? Just seems like the rhythm is really there on the offensive side. Where do you go first when you think about Austin?
I think he's just playing with a very, very high level of confidence right now. And I think the freedom that he's played with for most of the season, if not all of the season, has just allowed him room to grow. And I think, he continues to develop patience for when things aren't happening early for him, just knowing that, he's going to end up with 15 to 20 shots. That's just the way our team is structured. And, I thought last night was a great example of that offensively for him, and he was terrific tonight.
JJ, I think it was before the game yesterday, we asked you kind of about the three-man data for LeBron, Austin, and...
I got all of it today. Max has been working on it for 2 weeks. Some really enlightening stuff.
What were you enlightened by? Anything you'd like to share?
No, but I will be sharing it with certain people.
The first quarter, obviously, tonight with Luka struggling, like the numbers were what they were. The third quarter, again, kind of a slow start. But in the fourth quarter, it really seemed like those three really connected on a bunch of different stuff. And the numbers actually recently have been trending this week pretty positive for those three groups.
I'll share it with you. When they're on the court together, we're at the equivalent of the number 7 offense in the league. So, the offense has not been the problem. The Ram three, we got LeBron, a deep paint catch. He ends up scoring at the rim. We go back to it the next play. They try to overplay it. He gets the back cut for the layup. We go back to it the next play. first option's not there, second option's not there. We get to the third option, Jackson gets a dunk. Like, that's how you have to walk a game down. Up 9, 5, 6 minutes to go. Just methodical, exhausting everything. Everything is live.
And those guys have only, I think, played 17 games now together. It's not a lot of basketball. When you saw the data, how much room is there, do you think, for that group to grow between now and whenever the season ends?
There's a lot of room to grow. There's a lot of room to grow. Particularly just with, I think, understanding what works for us. That's the biggest thing, what works for us.
JJ, kind of following up along those lines, it feels like you guys, especially the last couple games, have had a lot of success with Luka coming off screens, whether it's been rams or pin downs or whatever. What have you seen from just kind of using him in those ways, starting in the corners or somewhere along the baseline, and just the things that opens up offensively?
I think it gets him on the move. When we've ran it, he has optionality on it, but when we've ran it and we've gotten to the post, I think one thing that has been very consistent is that we've gotten a deep paint catch, and he hasn't had to bully his way from 17 feet. He's bullying his way from like 8 or 9 feet, and when we can get Luka 2 feet in the paint, we feel pretty good about the offense.
To look ahead, JJ, you guys are going to OKC for a 2-game set. When you played each other in November, there was a 4-game gap in between wins for your two teams. Now it's 17. Just how do you look at this opportunity, this challenge to play them at this juncture of the season? Not even necessarily getting into the 2-game aspect of it, just having them on the schedule now.
Yeah, I mean, they got a bone to pick with Houston, for beating them pretty bad tonight. We're going to get an angry team on Sunday. Mark is one of, if not the best coach in the NBA. I mean, he's that good, and he's been that good for a number of years. I'm glad that their team and their program, people are realizing how good that organization is and what they've built. And I watch them a lot. They're really hard to score on. They have a number of high-level defenders. You just go down the line, and it's like we were watching pregame today, and Lou Dort's disrupting multiple plays, and then he gets subbed out, and they bring in Alex Caruso. Jalen Williams has been awesome. Shea's obviously disruptive. Cason Wallace, I think for probably every coaching staff around the NBA is a favorite. They have a number of guys that can really defend at a high level.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned Dalton. He had a quick 10 points when he checked in, had an array of way of scoring, had an inverted action with LeBron. How helpful is that skill set now around 3 ball handlers with Reaves, Luka, and LeBron for the team?
Yeah, I mean, again, I said pregame, we haven't given up on Dalton. We feel like he's a guy who can help us win a game in the playoffs, maybe multiple games, because of his shooting and his ability to score. I thought, it was a great way for him to start tonight with an offensive rebound on a crash and tip in, just showing how locked in he was to the game. And I think that the basketball gods reward that.
JJ, how would you define as this upcoming road trip like a marker of success for the team? What would you like to see out of this group as you close out the regular season and head into the playoffs?
I think it's more spiritual than anything else than results. We're going to have 3 massive tests, come home, have another massive test, and then play a really tough Portland team. So, if our spirit is right, I can live with the result, and I'm pretty confident that the results will be more good than bad.